It gives me great pleasure to recognize Jerry Nachtman. Worked with him for 23 years. Jerry, could you stand? Thank you for all you've done. And would Jerry's family stand and be recognized? Their tolerance and their patience over the years and their support for the work that Jerry's done is much appreciated. Behind every good crops research program, and I'd like to think I had a pretty good crops research program, is a good research technician. And that's what Jerry was. You notice Brian had a picture of some field plots. I think they were probably barley or wheat. And that's the kind of work Jerry did. He took care of these plots. He packaged the seed. He organized the trials. Harvested the crops. Collected the data. Analyzed it. And helped interpret it. He's very valuable to me on a personal level. He helped me to survive in the turbulent world of publish or perish. He certainly did that. He worked the long hours in the hot sun on the combine to make this possible. But I want to talk about some of the tangible accomplishments that Jerry helped make happen. He helped set the baseline for at least 10 potential alternative crops. And I think in the face of climate change, this kind of adaptive research is very important. Range from camelina, an oilseed crop, a potential biodiesel crop, to high tunnel tomatoes, looking at the potential of them. There were grain lupins. You know, many of these things failed. Winter safflower. We tried that, Jerry. Wasn't that something? One year it worked, one year it didn't. Winter canola. Chickpeas. An annual forage medic. Some of these became varieties. And I'd like to mention some of these. Peas, for instance. There are 3 pea varieties that are being released with Jerry's help. Now, Jerry was a pioneer with his data and the adoption of peas within the region, dry grain peas. There are now about 80,000 acres of peas being grown in western Nebraska and hopefully over into Wyoming, but there's now a splitting facility operating in Scotts Bluff. And Jerry's data that he collected helped pioneer this effort on both winter and more importantly right now, spring types. But 2 of these pea varieties will be winter pea varieties, and we have hopes that they'll be quite successful. His data showed that it was possible to grow winter annual peas in this country, that the genetic base was there for this. In terms of other genetic improvements, there were 14 new varieties released that he helped develop. 2 millet, 3 pea varieties, as I mentioned, 1 annual medic, and 8 winter wheat varieties. Probably the most noteworthy are the winter wheat varieties right now. In terms of acreage, 1 ranks number 1 in production in Wyoming, and the other ranks number 3. It yields fully 2 bushels more than the old-time favorite, buckskin. Steve Binziger, the UW plant breeder, recently wrote, when he learned of Jerry's retirement, that for him it was like an end of an era for our association in Wyoming. That he was very appreciative of the efforts that Jerry put in. And so am I, and I'm sure others are. If there's others that want to make comments, now's your chance, or you congratulate him personally. But again, thank you very much, Jerry.
What Jim says is really true, but there's a couple of things that I really remember about Jerry that he probably just assumed the rest of you didn't know about. And I don't remember the year, but I asked Jerry, and he said it was 1994, and that was the year we got a brand new plot combine at the University of Wyoming. And there was 2 incidents with that plot combine that I never forgot. I don't know if Jerry probably wishes that I wouldn't have remembered them. But one was shortly after we got it, I came over here, and you know, one of the things that he also does is very good with equipment, really takes care of stuff. And he was actually pretty protective of that plot combine. Well, he was out harvesting wheat, and I wanted to run that new plot combine. And he wouldn't let me get on that plot combine. Dr. Kroll had to come up and convince him that it was okay for me to run that plot combine. So I got to run it a little while, but he didn't let me run it very long. The other thing that he doesn't want you to know about was, shortly after we got it, it was a little top heavy, and he was unloading at one of the farm's place in the road ditch, and he tipped that plot combine on its side. It must have been kind of hard for him to call me and tell me that he tipped that new plot combine over. So Jerry, what they say about you is true, but there's a couple of things that I just won't forget. Thank you for all your service to UW and to the state.
I got to respond to that comment, especially about the rolling over of the plot combine. We had this new combine for, I don't know, maybe we harvested 1 trial, Jerry. And I was the one that rolled it over. And that's why I wouldn't let a professor drive the thing. You know, Jerry was covering for me all these years, I guess. So again, I appreciate it.